Do you hear that? It's springtime. The grass and trees return to life. The warm weather beckons us outside. Dads mature from drinking beer on the couch to drinking beer on the porch. Yeah, it sounds a bit boring, doesn't it? Oh good, a cute, wholesome show with a small female as its main character. I'm sure this won't cause any issues with anybody online. Aran-san is really cute right off the bat. The art style and even some of the comedy in the show remind me a lot of Denki Guy, which is one of my favorite lesser-known shows that I'll never get another season for. The visual comedy hits every time, even if you know what's coming, and has a great way of making you think you know what's coming just to throw a curveball at you. The music, well, it could be better. Even if the opening does the visual trope that I really don't care for with the main character running past the other characters, we can give this one a pass. These two are cute, and I hope it stays that way. There wasn't any fan service, and that's pretty refreshing to see. It's always nice to see two anime characters get affectionate with each other and not burst into a blushing, stumbling mess. Good stuff. I seriously don't know how I feel about this one. I don't mind isekais, especially since I love Konosuba so much, but this one just seems odd. They have this weird exposition dump at the beginning disguised as the main character complaining about the game he'll soon be trapped in. I feel like it could have been done in a cooler world-building way, but I don't think the show is going to get the lifespan of Konosuba or ReZero to have enough time to explain its world. The opening music is pretty alright, but the animation itself is just pretty boring. Mostly stills and panning shots. The music also just interrupts itself sometimes. I guess I could say it's supposed to imitate how video games do, but that just might be giving this too much credit. Also, I feel like this character design in the show is a bit unoriginal. It might just be me, but it feels like I've seen some version of these characters somewhere before. I don't know if I'll stick with this one. I don't have really high hopes. Another isekai. Boy, Japan, you're really pumping these things out like crazy. This doesn't seem like it'll really stick either. I think I might just skip. Hold on, I like this one. She's cute. She's feisty. I'll take 20. She's fantastic. Close-up shop, everyone. We found the winner. I'm kidding. Please don't leave. The show's good. It's charming, it's unique, and it sort of reminds me of Konosuba, so this one will probably... What? 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 I take it back. I'll take 100. This is amazing. I love the show already. Animation, world, story, music. It's all incredible. This one's alright. I like the humor, and especially the main character. It's stupid, but I'm pretty sure it's aware that it's stupid. I enjoy the premise of a hero whose victory isn't celebrated, but instead creates a sense of concern amongst the people. It's unique, and I'll give it that. What isn't unique is the cast. The characters don't seem all that original, and everybody outside the protagonist is pretty forgettable. Except Lily. Lily I want to use for batting practice. Like I said, it's alright. It's nothing too special. I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. I have a hard time watching shows that depict non-consensual acts. It's why I haven't sat down through the entirety of Game of Thrones. Not only is it shit, but it makes me uncomfortable. Outside of this, it's like every other isekai. It's forgettable, and the main character is even a shithead like Kazuma or Leo from the last show. The animation's alright, and it's a pretty good summary of the show. Everything. The characters, the action, the edginess. It was just alright. I originally watched this to get away from the isekais that were starting to overwhelm me, but this one's really cute. It's funny as well. And I really like... Alright, never mind. I'm turning it off. I'm not subjecting myself to this filth. Only kidding, this show is adorable. It's your typical Romeo and Juliet situation, but it does well. It's also a great change of pace from the dump truck of isekai and fantasy anime unloaded on my property. It's also nice to see a show where the main couple is already together, instead of wondering if they will get together. I think I'll be keeping up with this one. It defrosts my frozen heart. No, never mind, it's frozen again. If isekai were a drug, I'd have overdosed by now. Reminds me of moe anime from back in the day, where every show would just be cute girls doing cute things. Isekai seems to have taken its place. And similar to how Moe would still pump out gems like Keion and Nichijou, Isekai does the same thing with ReZero and potentially Virgin Road. I tried to give each show this season a fair shake, but the leash is incredibly short for isekai. This one doesn't really stand out either. Aside from a few chuckles here and there, even watching through this entire thing, I'm not sure where the plot is supposed to be going. Put this one in the isekai trash as well.
Your kind isn't allowed here.
This one reminds me a bit like Sweetness and Lightning mixed in with Working, but there's no Kotori or Yamada, so it's basically garbage. Not really. This one's pretty sweet. The interactions between characters are pretty solid. It does remind me of Sweetness and Lightning, with the story going on behind the focus on food. The art style also reminds me of Flying Lich, which isn't a bad thing at all. I don't have any complaints. Oh goody, glad to see that the new Danganronpa series is really shaking it up. To be honest, I went into the show with severely low expectations and wasn't pleasantly surprised with the result, but I didn't entirely hate it. While it was basically Amogus the animation, I didn't mind it. What I do think will hold it back is the small cast, since I now feel that they're going to draw out games much longer than they should. I'm cautiously optimistic. We'll see if anyone's still watching come the end of the season. I'll never understand sports anime. I've never witnessed a bigger divide between fans than anime and sports, yet it feels like there are 5 to 10 sports anime released every season. Holy shit, did a Bitcoin ATM just show up in my golf anime? It was a bigger plot twist than I could have ever imagined. In all honesty, the show is kind of stupid, but it's kind of stupid that could get me into sports anime. But when they don't try and be pretentious about the sport and do stupid shit like shoot a golf ball between the cars of a moving train, I can dig it. This was the one that people were really looking forward to, and with good reason. This is really good, and probably the frontrunner for anime of the season, and possibly of the year if it keeps it up.
私たちもいつか。
カレン、僕たち別れよう。君の話には知性を感じない。
I have to return some videotapes.
It's only been one episode, but it's living up to the hype so far. Everything about it's fantastic. Characters, incredible. Animation, beautiful. Anya, I'd give my life without a second thought.
I'll give him a week.
I'll give him 11 minutes.
Any and all jokes aside, it's nice to be excited for something and actually have it delivered. This show is kind of like Nagatoro, if I didn't want to send Nagatoro careening through the nearest concrete pillar. It would also be pretty cool if we actually got more than one episode before the employees at the animation studio decide to have a coughing contest and close the office until further notice. Shikimori itself was another show that went above and beyond what I expected. I certainly wouldn't say it's the best show of the season, but it's definitely far from the worst. Characters are enjoyable, and they play off each other well. Plus those eyes. Mwah. I binged the first season of this show in order to watch the second one, and I enjoyed it so much that I'm probably going to make a full video on it soon. Even the characters I don't like are made up for by how much I love the others. The second season has the same charm as the first, and probably even more so. The worst thing about the second season is that they just changed the opening, and I was a huge fan of the first. Actually, I lied. The worst thing is that Yamai hasn't fallen off the school rooftop yet. I thank the Lord that they had Naka Naka stand up to her for once. I love shows that have huge casts and can still make every character feel unique. This show does all that and more. It's incredible, and I think it's one of the best romantic comedies out there right now. If you haven't started Komi yet, now's the best time. The way this show can make such small things like dropping a pencil or sharing an eraser seem so sweet is really incredible. If this one stays good, I can really see it contending with Spy Family for anime of the season, and possibly of the year. The opening reminds me of something you'd hear from Oasis. The art and character design are just breathtaking. The plot is gripping, and you can really get attached to the characters, even the ones you only see for a few seconds. I don't want to say too much about this one, because I feel like you should definitely experience it for yourself. I just hope it doesn't have some sort of rushed ending, but I'm pretty excited. This, Japan. This is how you make isekai. Something fresh, something unique. This doesn't even have to be an isekai to be good, but even so, it's still a lot of fun. Look at that scenery, it's gorgeous. I've been getting into some music anime recently, namely Carol and Tuesday, so this one dropped at just the right time. The opening is such a jam too. The only complaint I have is that, since it doesn't really have to be an isekai, I just wonder where they're going to go with the story. Yeah, this one's not worth going to jail over. There isn't really much you can say about Love is War that hasn't been said already at this point. It's basically the gold standard for romantic comedies, and you can easily make the argument that it's the best rom-com out there. I can't help but feel that Season 3 is going to launch this show into a legendary status. It's climbing fast on my own personal favorite anime list, and I really don't see it stopping. I can't push Love is War enough. At this point, I think anybody not watching is just doing a disservice to themselves. This is reminding me of a few different shows. The arranged marriage thing and the way the main characters butt heads reminds me a lot of Nisekoi, and I can already see the setup being a little similar to Toradora, where the main guy is in love with the purple-haired girl, but is more than likely going to end up with the girl he's set to be married to. It's pretty good so far. The humor's solid, and the animation is pretty admirable as well. I had hoped for it to be good, and especially since it released so much later than the rest of the shows this season. It's only been one episode, but I haven't been disappointed. Part of me hopes that the main dude actually ends up with the original girl he's in love with, but you can only expect so much from harem anime. It's normally either good or it's garbage, not much middle ground to work with. Actually had a lot of fun doing this, and found a bunch of shows that I may have not watched otherwise, so if you like this style of video, be sure to like and subscribe. As always, I'll have the link to the Twitter and Discord in the description below. Anyway, see you next season.